think that's also where you get Kristoff's character as kind of this other devouring mother-esque figure, where yes, there's a love there, if you can call it that, but it is a love that relates to Truman more as object than as independent individual.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let me put it this way. Out of all the figures in the movie, who loves Truman the most? It's not his best friend, which is an actor.
No.
It's not his
it's
wife.
It's either Kristoff or Sylvia.
Right.
It's between them.
That's tough when
and
those are your only two shots, because your only two shots are someone who's wearing buttons about your freedom and the outside world. She's not even real. Right. So, I don't know. That's why I'll leave off my speculations about the Truman Show Part 2, because that would be a horror movie. And we'll just
that would be a horror movie, actually.
I hope it isn't.
Well, maybe
I hope it wouldn't be.
You know,
I hope
maybe it wouldn't be.
To me, I see him walking out that door, and like 5 minutes later, the way the movie should have ended is the door opens and he walks back in and he starts swimming back. Because I think there's a real...
It depends where the Truman Show dome is. If it's in LA,
I think it was supposed to be, wasn't it? I think they even referenced that.
Was it supposed to be? If he walked outside and saw like an encampment of homeless people.
Because I think you see the dome, and don't you see the Hollywood sign? Like in one of the images?
I don't know.
I don't remember, but it would make sense that it was.
I mean, I would run back into the dome at that point too. I mean, he walks out and like the streets just smell like piss. There's crackheads, dying. He has to step over them.
It's a little harsh.
The land is on fire.
Is it really that bad? I don't know.
It's pretty fucking bad, dude. Like, I mean, I don't leave my house for my own reasons of, neuroticism and weirdness. But then particularly, I don't like to leave my house now because it means I go in LA, which is pretty stressful. I mean, it depends where you go. And I just try not to go out at night because that's when I've been like followed by homeless people. I mean, they're not just homeless. They are like, a lot of them are having, it's drug issues is partially why it's so difficult here. It's not just homeless people. I've been around homeless people all around the world. There is nothing like an LA homeless person. They're a different kind of homeless person.
So
and the problem is compounded.
Is there something to be said for Kristoff and Sea Haven?
Well, here's the thing. It is true that in a way, yeah, he is trying to protect Truman from a world that absolutely, there's no doubt about it, that the world outside of the door is uglier, more dangerous. I would say it's not even that it's the same lies and deceit. It's worse. But here's the thing. That's the suffering that you take on and that has meaning to it. And that's why, coming back to Nietzsche real early in this one, the suffering that has meaning can be bared. The kind of suffering, that's why I think you see Truman become exponentially more desperate as the movie goes on, because he starts to realize that everything about his life is false, and in that way, it's meaningless. All his efforts don't yield anything because everything is controlled. And so in a way, it is better to take on more risk and more suffering if it's yours, that you take on and that you can give meaning to in that way. False suffering or suffering that's meaningless is the worst kind. And I think that's ultimately why, It's why, you can see that there is a benevolence in the idea of Kristoff trying to protect him, but that's the failure of the devouring mother archetype, which is the kid has to fall down. You can protect your child from ever falling down, but that means you never let them learn to walk either.
But you don't let your child walk off a cliff and then be like, well, it was a learning experience.
Well, if Truman's walking off cliffs, we got a bigger problem there.
I mean, he's exiting the only world he has known for 29 years.
Yeah, but you can make this argument, though, with a lot of things that actually do happen in the real world. So what happens if you have someone that is actually in prison? Someone that's been in prison for most of their life and they're released, or you have someone that comes from a country, they're able to escape a country that's been war torn and impoverished for most of their life, and they come into a country of the opposite of that. These are really jarring, one world to the other experiences that require serious acclimation, and because of that allow for serious risk. It's not easy. People think that maybe freedom is the be all end all. He's free now and that's all. It's over, happy ending. But there is risk in freedom because you can make the wrong choice, and that's why the other side of freedom is responsibility. And that's what Truman actually lacked, was a sense of a true responsibility for his own life. His life was it was Christoph that was responsible for his life. Silver Society.